everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Gist with Esse. If you're joining us on Facebook, please share by creating a watch party so your friends can join us live. Remember to send in your questions for our guests if you have any, or you can call us via WhatsApp on the number +4474 66951 to speak directly to our guest. Our special guest today is the very beautiful Victoria Inyama. She's a social psychologist and a domestic violence advocate. Being a survivor of domestic violence herself, she gives talks on domestic violence, its effects on both the victim and the children, and reasons to walk away before it's too late. Today, she's going to be talking to us about starting over, one of the many fears that keeps victims in abusive relationships. So let's gist. Hello, Victoria. Welcome to Gist with Esse. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just correct one thing on my introduction.
Okay.
I did psychology, but I didn't go further to become like an accredited psychologist. That one, you have to do your master's and go through 3 years of training. My dear sister, I'm too old for that now. So, but I'm like, I'm going into the counseling side of psychology. Yeah, so after psychology, I'm now doing counseling. To get BACP accreditation, and I will get hopefully in about 2 years' time. Yeah. So I just studied psychology. You know everything. I mean, this you know how it is here. You know, you have to go. Here has a process. Yeah. Right. So you can study medicine and not become a doctor. You can study medicine and become a radiographer or a clinician or anything. Yeah. So that's how it is. Yeah, and okay, so the topic.
Have you been, first of all?
I've been fine. Oh, I've been fine. We thank God. I'm so grateful to God because what I do is I try to look at the bright side. It's not easy. It's not but for every time I want to think of what has happened, I think of what I have learned, and I think of how my experience is going to help other people. And I think of how to perfect that experience so that it is not wasted.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so that it's not wasted. As in, using whatever. It's a bit like using history to map out the future.
Okay.
Right? So, protecting myself and everything. Is echoing. I hope. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
All right.
Yeah. So how do you deal with the reality of starting with nothing and still manage to keep hope alive mentally, emotionally, psychologically, especially, with the fact that you've got kids depending on you?
I would say, first and foremost, the society. I live in a society that is very supportive. Because if not for the society, I don't know how I would have managed, to be honest. Because from living in a refuge center with children to being rehoused, to getting new schools for the kids, making sure the kids are okay mentally. I'm the last person here now. My priority is making sure that the kids are fine. And for everywhere we move to, you have to get new GP, new school. So all those things make it so easy that I wasn't thinking about myself. I was just more interested in making sure that the children are fine and that the children are comfortable. And I would also say I have a deep relationship with God. Over those times, I believed in God, but I believed God through the wrong people. I would say I'm one of those victims of pastor said. Because I listened to pastors say to my own detriment. I wasn't using my brain. I was using that belief and the trust that we bring that we're born with. We are born into church. We are a family of church, and then we believe in God. But most especially, we believe in our pastor or father. So I took that mentality and brought it here. And instead of me to think for myself, I needed to do, I was listening to the pastor. whereby pastors had their own selfish intentions. They were not being honest. They were so biased, and they were not, truthful. So I would say that I am even in a dilemma today with my divorce because I was listening to what pastors said. So, yeah, and how over the years, I think finally I decided to mourn the relationship, and that has helped me. Because when you're dealing with a narcissistic person who just wants to do everything possible to control your life, you have to find a way to ignore the person. And ignoring the person is not easy, because it's just difficult to cut off from this person. So what I did personally is I had to just imagine the person is no more. I know it's harsh, and I know it's hard. That's for my own sanity.
Why is it difficult to deal with? Is it because of the kid, or even without the kids, it would have been difficult?
First of all, he just doesn't accept he's done anything. He just feels he knows too much, and because he has pastors backing him, he feels he's not wrong. And whenever he decides to apologize for something, he's apologizing because he wants you to trust him and give him another opportunity to control some more. So it's a bit like, okay, I'm sorry about this, but let's do this. And I said, okay, I accept your apology, but I'm not doing anything with you anymore. So it's just going back and forth like that, back and forth. And when I remember that something is dead, then I'm like, okay, there's no need getting angry with a dead, situation. So I just carry on, and that's what helped really. Because if not, what I would do is every day I will sit back and I'll moan and I'll remember this thing and I'll cry and I'll, feel bad about it. And then instead of me being a victim that is, that is rejuvenating and healing, I will still be in bitterness and anger. So, because bitterness and anger causes a lot of issues, health issues. And I've dealt with, in fact, when I was married, I was the sickest human being on earth, because it was either kidney this today, kidney stone, too much water in my liver, kidney this, cancer. I was, for the 12 years I was married, every year I was in hospital for one major thing. Every year, and so I've had my fair share of sicknesses, and that's because I was taking too much mentally and emotionally, and it was, making me sick. So again, even though I have left the relationship, but this person still wants to keep controlling, keep torturing, and it got to a state that I said, you know what? This person, I need to bury this person, this marriage, this whole thing. I called my kids and I told them, this is it, So whether, he sends money, he doesn't, whatever, the only thing holding us together is, just my divorce. That's all. So as soon as, I get that one done, that is proper burial. And I'll do the burial.
I'd like to ask about the kids, but is your TV on? I'm getting some echo in the background. It's muted.
It's too loud, I think.
Is there any other device around you that
Still loud. You just switch off. Are you still hearing it?
Yeah, so it's actually one of the viewers that complained about the echo, so we'll find out
okay.
if it's still there.
Yes, it's coming from there.
Yeah, but let's continue in the meantime. Why? Yeah, so talk to me about the kids. What effect has all this had on the kids, and how are they dealing with, living with just one parent?
Okay, the truth is, my kids had to go through counseling, right? They had to go to counseling in school. Again, that's where the system helped me, because I had to tell them that they were going through all kinds of emotions. Although my saving grace, to be honest, is that he was never he was never really there as a father, right? So the kids didn't really miss anything because he was never there. He was never at home. He was either traveling or doing his own thing or doing whenever he's at home. It's like, I don't know. For the kids, it's not even funny. It wasn't even interesting. It's not like there were times when we went on holiday or lunch or anything fun as a family. So there's nothing to miss, right? So, but what affected them was, again, my listening to pastor. And even the time when I wasn't supposed to even allow him access to the kids, I was still allowing him access to the kids because pastor said. And then he now started having the opportunity to start instilling all kinds of things into the children, like, okay, your mom doesn't have money, I'll buy you this, I'll buy you a house, I'll take you to Disneyland in America, I'll do this, I'll do that, putting all those things in their heads. So the kids will come home, oh, mom, can we go to Disney America? I say, we can't go to America, but we can go to France here, right? Because America is way too much. Oh, well, daddy said that, and then, for example, if I had to buy something for my son, shoes, and, I could go to Next, for instance, to buy him school shoes, while you would go and buy them, was that your shoe, Kickers or something like that. So while I'm buying a 30-pound shoe, he's going to Kickers to buy 120 pounds. You understand? And it doesn't make sense. So you're not paying child support for your children, but you rather buy them expensive things so that they could use it to spite their mom. Again, social services were involved in that. And again, the kids went through counseling. So I wouldn't even say it's me, but I'm very, very honest with my children. And I know that most people will say, oh, don't get the kids involved. It's between, no. In this life, we can drop dead any day, anytime. And a lot of women say, oh, the kids will always go to their father. Let me tell you, the kids that do that is because you didn't tell them the truth. They don't know who their father is. So it's always good. I'm one of those people that say, oh, don't deny him, access to his children just because you guys are having a difficult time. And even while I was in refuge, I was taking the kids to church where he would attend, right? And this was also the brainwashing of the pastor. So I was living like 2 hours away, but I will still inconvenience my kids and drive them all the way down to church so that they can see their dad, because pastor said, you must not do this or you must not do that. So, and even after that, I still allowed the children, because I didn't want to tell my children things about him. I wanted them to experience him for themselves. So even when, and I'm saying this, I know that, who knows, he could be recording it or anything. Even when social services were like, don't allow him access to the kids, pastor will still come and say, don't listen to social services, though. They are against families, though. You must not deny a man his children. It got to a stage, I would even say, okay, over weekends, on Friday, you go and pick the kids from school. And then, of course, I was in uni. Say, Friday, go and pick the kids from school. You can stay with them till Sunday and bring them back. He will stay with them till Sunday. He will not bring them back. And I will go to pastor. Pastor will say, pray. And I say, pastor, but you're the one that, this thing now, if government even finds out that I'm allowing him access, I'm going to be in trouble. Pastor will now tell me, the Holy Spirit and social service, which one are you more afraid of? Right? So these things continued until my son was like, you know what, mom, if you force me to go to that next time, I'll run away. And that was when I think it clicked that these kids don't even want to go, because he would take them and probably leave them in his girlfriend's house. They'll go out. My kids will be very uncomfortable in the house. Or he will leave the kids in the house with his girlfriend's children. Those ones, they'll be fighting up and down. Your mom is a bitch. Your father is a bitch. They'll be bitching up and down. And then when he comes back, he will hit on my own kids, his kids, and tell them, oh, auntie's children are guests, so you have to, be nice to them. But this is their father's house. So all those things were going on, but I allowed it. I allowed it because I didn't want to tell them anything. I wanted them to experience their father for themselves. So until until the social services threatened me that they were going to take the kids away from me because it looks like I am not able to protect these children, because my kids will go to their counselor and tell their counselor that I really don't want to go to daddy, but mommy keeps forcing us to go to daddy. And the counselor will now tell the social worker that I'm afraid of the man and this, and which at that time was true. I wasn't afraid of him, but I was listening to pastor this and pastor that. So, I was doing everything pastor says to my own detriment. I wasn't thinking, using my head. But I was in uni, and thank God we got to a stage where we did family and we did the psychological impact of domestic violence on family. And I started learning a lot of things. I'm like, no. What I've done to these kids is wrong. But I'm happy it happened that way, because now they won't say mommy said. They will say, this is who my father is. My father likes to, when people are there, he likes to act like a good father so that people will think he's a good father. But when people are not there, he shouts, he beats us, he calls us names, he abuses my mom, he was doing everything that he needed to do, but I was happy. And another thing is, when I also, say, don't, it's not nice to abuse the other parents, in front of the children. Now, because my kids started hating him because he was always abusing me. And my son would be like, why is he always saying these things about you and you don't say anything about him? Why? And I say, well, because most times it's the perpetrators that are angry that you've left. And I told my son the history of slavery. I said, people that own slaves, you think they were happy to let the slaves go? They were not happy. Even when they had to pay compensation, they were not, they were not happy. In fact, I told him the history of UK, that as at 4 years ago, the UK government was still paying slave traders in the United Kingdom for stopping slave trades years ago. So the perpetrator is not happy to let go. So he will do everything. And I don't need to abuse your dad for you to know. I don't want you to hear anything like that from me. But the things you're hearing from him that is upsetting you, maybe at some point you need to tell him, can you stop cursing my mom? Because she's not done anything to you. Exactly. So, the kids went through all that with their counselor and everything. And I'm just happy the way it turned out, because there are so many things I wasn't doing. And when I hear the kids talk about how they feel, I'm like, okay. Another thing is, having relationships and bringing your boyfriend or whoever to the house. That's wrong. Because when they come from their dad's place and they're telling me, oh, today was A, tomorrow B, last week it was whoever. What kind of a man is this? I'm now thinking to myself, so if I have Bobo or anything, I should better just keep it far away. Let me not even, because I don't think I have a 15-year-old and I don't think you feel good feeling, does my mom do that thing?
Yeah, no, but even experts advise that you shouldn't bring, if you have kids and you're getting into a relationship, you shouldn't let the kids meet this new person until you're sure where the relationship is headed. So, for example, if you're in a relationship 6 months down the line or a year down the line, you realize, okay, you're going to probably end up getting married to this person, or even if you don't want to get married, where we are now, you can just be partners. If it's going to be a long-term thing, then you can introduce the kids, because this person is almost permanent in your life. He's irregular in your life. But until you're sure, there's no point, because it would just mean that you're going to be introducing different men to the kids, which is not really good for their mental health as well, for them to be seen, man or woman, even if, whether it's their dad or you bring in different people to say, and they know these things. They know when it's just a friend. and they know when it's more than a
What are
friend.
you saying? When the
Yes,
man and the
even
woman
the
enter the
little,
room.
the little kids know.
Yes, now when the man and the woman enter room, for a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, they don't know. And they know now.
No, but
So
kids younger than that can tell by your body language that there's more to this than just, this guy is not just mommy's friend. They will tell you, oh, mommy's special friend, or something like that. So
but
they
for
know.
me, I just feel that your house is your safe haven, right?
Yes.
And is your place of safety. So people shouldn't even come there to, kind of intrude into your safety. And especially for these children, it's like that is where you bring them to protect them.
Yes.
And people shouldn't really, or barge in there, if I have to put it that way. I do have my one or two of my girlfriends that maybe when they come from Nigeria, they stay with us. But that's my girlfriend, and the kids have grown to know them that okay, Auntie Joy stays here, and stuff like that. But for guys, no, because I've also heard the way my kids talk about daddy and this woman, daddy and that woman. They actually asked him, my son actually asked him one day dad, but you're still married and you're having all these girlfriends. Why? And he said, oh, you won't understand. When you go, I will explain it to you. And I'm thinking, what kind of a role model is this one? When my son told me, I said, don't mind him, he's wrong. Don't, there's nothing to explain. That behavior is wrong behavior. So don't listen to him. Anything he tells you, he's lying. He's wrong. You don't do that. There's nothing,
So
which one is
now,
when you go.
can you take us through some of the practical steps that you took, in getting your life back on track? So let's back up a bit to when you left and you were now with what, the social workers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you knew that okay, there's nothing back to. I didn't come out with anything apart from my kids, but I need to survive. I need to take care of these kids. I need to take care of myself. What do I do? So what were the things that you did to help yourself?
Okay. Again, I'll take it back to the system. I was very, very lucky because from the refuge, I met a support worker. She was fantastic, Leslie. Leslie was, she was great. She would always say, you need to do this for your children. You cannot break down. You cannot fall apart, right? And no matter what, stand firm. And when you're in the refuge, you go through, we have lessons. It's like they teach you, they guide you on finance, on managing your finances, on, different career workshops will come. Then there's always, this one is compulsory, you have to do the freedom program. The freedom program is like them explaining to you what is going on with you so that you have a better understanding, so that you can process your emotions. Because you've just been brought out of, even if it's a violent home, right? And you're now living in a refuge. So everything is just going on with you mentally, like so many emotions. Like, how did I get here? What happened? What did I do wrong? Why did I end up with this kind of person? I was tolerating this thing, but it got to a stage I couldn't tolerate it so, that much. And I would always say one thing, which is why when I never ask the question, why the women stay? I always say one thing. If the police had not removed me and the children from that house, I probably would have still been there, or maybe one person would have died, either me or him. Because I always say, anytime you hit me again, I will stab you. I always say it, but when he hits me, there's no knife. So, but like one day I actually said, the day you hit me in the kitchen, I'll find something and I will retaliate. So those things are there. Now, I had to decide, because for a long time I felt shame, because being Nigerian actress now, they always say, all actresses now are shawu. They don't want to marry. They're prostitutes. They don't want to stay in a home. Meanwhile, they don't know that it is the actress that even works more. She does everything within her power to make sure that marriage works, because already she knows that the bias and the prejudice is there. So, dealing with shame and dealing with a lot of regrets. I should have done this, I should have done that, because at the end of the day, everything I tolerated is still backfired, because I would say, oh, let me ignore this, let me tolerate this. So I got to the stage where my support worker was like, so what would you like to do? You want to go into work or you want to go into education? And I said, look, I want to go into education because I want to learn why this person is like this. And I want to learn how to be able to help myself and help other people. So it was even in the refuge that I applied for my university. She helped me, but at some point I just couldn't cope because I had to do like a new beginning course. It's like a course you need to do, to get into. I'm like, I'm not ready, I was coming from X to East London. It wasn't for all. Oh, I can't do this. So when we got rehoused, and I said to myself, and again, it was based on my ex would say, oh, look at you. If you ever leave me, you will just be cleaning pool. That's all you'll be doing because the university you went to in Nigeria is rubbish, right? You cannot work here. You can't do anything. You can't cope. So you can't leave me. You cry and crawl back. I say, okay, I'll cry and crawl back. Every time I hear that crawl back, I just had to work harder. So I said, okay, I'm not going to be a care worker. Not that there's anything wrong with care workers. But my ex is like, they're going to clean sheets. That's all. So I said, okay, I needed to do something professional. And I finished the course. In fact, I had to go to one university, British School of Management, did my foundation, and then took another exam, did another course because I didn't have A-levels and stuff, and went to University of East London. And I am happy I did the course I did because I did psychosocial, which is psychosociology. It taught me so much that when I look back, I feel so sorry for a lot of people. I would never have known what a narcissist is. I would never have known what a damaged person is. I would never have known that you give love if you don't have love in you. If you were not brought up in love, you don't have any love to give. So you can't. So, and the kids, and I didn't really think about my own issues and stuff. So whatever was happening, I was not sitting back to think, to moan and whine. The last time I was thinking about the rubbish was when the pastor again was like, because you're the one that decided to leave the marriage, you cannot remarry. Because in First Corinthians, Kiniko says that if you leave the marriage, if you marry and you're committing adultery, this, that. And I'm thinking, and I said, Pastor, but hang on. Oh. After I married this man, I found out that he was married before and divorced, and he has a daughter. So that means I've already committed adultery. Now the person said, no. Shebi, he was divorced and he gave his life to Christ. So when he gave his life to Christ, all things became new. I said, so when he gave his life to Christ, does a child exist in that marriage or not? Because if a child already exists in the marriage, then that means my son is his second child. My son is not his first child. So how about that? And well, the pastor was bringing all these things. Oh, you have to go back, and I'm sure he has changed. I said, okay, to find out if he has changed. Shebi, he's having the children now. He's not bringing them back on time. He's not taking care of the kids. I remember my little baby son that time. He has nuts allergy. His father will give him nuts to eat. Twice I rushed him to A&E, because his father gave him nuts and didn't do anything. So many things. He will buy things for the kids and he will tell them, oh, this is designer shoe I bought for you. You're not taking it home. Oh. If you want to wear it, you come to my house and wear it. When you're going home, you take your Asda and your next shoes back to your mother. So I said, Pastor, is it this person that you're saying I should go back to, that he's sorry? How is he sorry? He's not even treating his own children well. So how is he going to treat me well? And stuff like that. But I was just determined. I remember even when my son told him, oh, mommy is going into uni, she's doing psychology. He says, psychology is the only course mad people can do. It's for mad people. She wants to, so that she can be working with people like herself, that they don't have. And that has affected my children till today, that I always tell my kids, I would love one of you to do psychology, even if it's clinical psychology. And they say, mommy, no, daddy said it's for mad people. I say, no, it's not for mad people. It's for, no matter what I say about psychology, my kids are not having it. Because that what their father said they've already accepted it. And I said, but look at me, there's nothing wrong with me. And they say, yeah, but you do psychology because you want to help people. I said, I want to help people, yes, but that does not mean those people. So somehow it's difficult to explain to them the kind of help people need. But I do tell them that, you know what, you don't have to be mad to do psychology or even psychiatry to help people. But if you love people and you want to help, then you can. But because their father has already said psychology is a course for mad people, they are not having it. Anyway, so going to university has kind of made me improve myself, because a lot of things that I would scream and rake about, now I'll just smile like, okay, because I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. And because I know where the person is coming from, I just feel so sorry for him. So I just carry on. And I'm just determined that everything he said I couldn't do, I have done it. And I have still not crawled back to come and beg. So to me, yeah. So, yes, I don't. Sometimes
tell me that, you know what, I can do it without this person.
Yes.
And I need to do it for my sake and for that of my children.
Children, yes. More for my children, because I tell my daughter now every day, I say, my dear, you have to read. Oh, you see, the reason your father dealt with me the way he dealt with me is because I wasn't educated in the UK. And that's why he married me. Because I come from Nigeria, where we accept subjugation, where we accept that we have to be slaves, where we feel that our life revolves around our husband, right? Because a typical British born and bred girl here, he couldn't. Now, he saw women here, right? But he's still ahead. So I tell my daughter, I say, read, oh, so that no man will treat you like this, oh, because the times, all the years I was married and I was begging, I want to go to school, I want to go to school. He would say, do you think I pluck money on trees? I never knew, all the years I was married, I never knew I could be entitled to school, student loan, or something. I never knew. So he would always say he's going to, bring the money. Childcare is expensive. He'll be paying for childcare, paying for me to go to school. So I used to think, hey. And then those days, I remember I would go to a nursery and ask, no. And I remember I'll go to a nursery and I'll ask, how much is, for a month? And they'll say something like 1,002. I say, hey, when I came to this country, university was 3,000. 2003. 3,000. Because I made all those inquiries now. And then you say, hey, 3,000, this, that. I did not know that is student loan. If I had known, I would have. And then again, you know what happens is that they'll block you from making friends. They'll tell you that, oh, I don't want, marriage is between two people. You must not discuss our marriage with anybody. Don't ask any questions. Any questions you want to ask, you ask me. Right? When I was married, I wasn't allowed to watch the news, because you will listen to the news and they will say certain things in the news. And news, they always put some numbers after the news. I remember one day I was watching EastEnders and there was something on domestic violence. So he walked into the room and I was copying the number on that 0800 number on EastEnders, and he caught me. He said, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm taking this number. He said, for what? I said, because I want to call them and see if I can go for casting, Maybe they say, no, they don't need your type in EastEnders. They don't need your type, that number. Give it to me. He took the number, he tore it. Because that was when I think I watched something and they said if you're going through domestic violence or you know anybody going through this, because a man hit a woman, that's all I know. So I'm like, and they collect beating for here every day now. I might as well call this number, you understand? So he took the number from me. That was when I knew that there was a problem. And I would tell pastor, and pastor would say, you have to stay, you have to stay and endure. And when you die, you go to heaven.
Let's come back to the pastors. I'm going to ask you your opinion about something on pastors. But before we go to that, where you are, you found yourself, rather blessed or lucky to be in a system or a country where there is ready help.
Yes.
However, in Africa, there are women who are still in marriages, domestic, marriages, enjoying domestic violence because of one family and the society at large. You can't leave. What would people say?
Yeah.
Even their parents are advising them to stay and all of that. Now, I want you to speak to people. We don't know who's watching this. You're going through domestic violence and you're in Africa where help is not readily available or as easily, because there is help in Africa. I know that there's help in Africa. There are. Yeah, but but there's the support is not as much as you get here. Okay. Those groups are not going to send you to school. They can help you learn a trade or learn some skill or something, and try to set you up and all of that. But there's help if people reach out. What advice do you have for women who are just afraid because they don't know how they are going to fend for their kids and for themselves when they leave? And people who are afraid that they will be rejected by friends and family, because the message is to look. I've had friends who been through domestic violence, and I've always been one of the people, even when I was single, to say, leave. It's better you leave than for you to die. The children that you're using as the excuse, when you die, another woman will end up taking care of them. So leave because of those children. You will find help. Not every family member is going to help you. Some are going to cut off, okay? Some friends are even going to cut off. They don't want to associate with single girls. I had that issue. I had married friends who didn't want to associate with me because I was single. So you that you're a divorcee, it's going to be worse. But look, just look for the one or two people who are ready to help you and start from there. So what do you have to say to them? People who are afraid because of starting over.
Okay, so now that I know better, I would want to say, first of all, try as much as you can to avoid the triggers and start saving or start having plan B. When you have children, you can't just wake up and leave. No. Because in Nigeria, like you're saying, yes, there is help. But there's for me, I don't think there is help, because help is giving the person accommodation. Help is giving the person money, right? So for those few, as soon as the police removed me from the house, they gave me £500 voucher, to buy things, because they said, don't worry about things in the house. You're going to stay in a refuge. We don't know how big the refuge is, so don't bother taking anything. So at least that 500 was for me. So the money, and then the refuge is an accommodation that is secure. Yes, whereby the perpetrator cannot find you. It doesn't have no address. Yeah, no address, and it's well protected. And they have people working in there, counselors, accountants, service workers, support workers. All those people are earning salary. Who is the Nigerian government is not interested in that. That's not, they are not interested in women and children. Whatever we have in Nigeria is just for the sake of, we have a women's affairs ministry. I don't see what they are doing, right? In terms of, empowering the person. Like me, for instance, everything about my school, apart from student finance that I got a loan, every other thing was paid for, was grants. I want to do a course. You write your whole, address and everything, and you state if you have money. Everything is means tested, and based on that means tested, the question is, do you want to go to school? Are you ready? Yes. The help is there. You have 3 children. They would give you grants to take care of those 3 kids because they know you're in school and you're not working, right? In accommodation, as a student, you don't pay rent if you're in a council, if the council gives you. So basically, I got my accommodation based on domestic violence. And as a student, you don't pay council tax, and your rent is highly reduced. So all those helps are there. In Nigeria, how? Now, you go to school, and the school is aware that, okay, I have maybe WAEC from Nigeria, and they now have to help you, give you extra classes to make you meet up. Me, when I was in uni, I never used email and the computer to do anything. Coming here, you have to use computer to do assignments. Hey? How? But they will put you through all these things. And while they are putting you, they are not degrading you or insulting you. They are still encouraging you. You can do it. You can do it. So that support is there. Yeah? You even get a laptop. But where do you want to start from? So anybody going through domestic violence, if it's here, I always say, well, once you are ready, once you report it here, you should be ready to leave that relationship. Because they beat you first time, beat you second time, police come first time, police come second time. Once police has helped you, social service are involved, and you go back to that person, my dear, next time they see that number, because once your number is on their phone, they know the number, they know the name, they know the case. Everything will show. So if your number is showing up again, they will say this one is not serious. I mean, they will sit in their car and be eating popcorn. Then maybe when the call comes again, they will say, do you want police or ambulance? Okay, we'll send ambulance. Police is coming, because they've been on your case and you have refused to do anything about it. So for here, and we have loads of charities, from Solace to Refuge. Every borough on its own have, a charity. Every borough or charities that will help. Again, if you are in the marriage and you're not ready to leave, you can still go to a charity. They will now help support you. Timmy, sorry, 1 minute. Timmy, I'm busy. Go to the dining. They will now help you. They will now support you. They are not telling you to leave, but they are now telling you, okay, this is a trigger. Avoid it. This is a trigger. Avoid it. What do you want to do? You want to work? We'll get you a part-time job you can be doing, and then you start saving some money. So they will help you, like, okay, give you like a 2-year plan. But that 2-year plan, you have to be very careful. You should be ready to work on eggshells. Right? So you're planning your thing. That 2 years, you should either get into work. Yeah, because at least so that you have something to fall back on. So, but in Nigeria, where do you start, telling a lot of times in Nigeria, the man is the total breadwinner. So even the woman's family, supports the man. I spoke to a lady. I mean, I'm supporting a lot of people, and one of the ladies I support, like speaking to her and everything, her parents know that this guy beats her. The father has even challenged the husband, but they still want her to go back. And do what? Until she dies?
Speak to now. Because the reality is, it gets to a point in your life when you have to realize that you are all alone. You don't have anybody. The only help you have is God. So it doesn't matter whether you have parents or you have siblings or you've got friends. If they are not feeling what you're going through, they are not telling you the right things to do, then you need to be able to cut off from such people.
They will not tell you what to do. Because everybody will say, it's not me that told her to leave her husband, though. If I tell her to leave her husband, you want her to come and be sharing my own? So no. So everybody they will listen to you. And let me tell you the truth, the bitter truth. If the man, see, most perpetrators have multiple personalities. Outside, they're very calm. They're very nice. They're very lovely. So all these your friends will be seeing a gentleman. Now you coming to talk, they will say it's a lie, Joe. We don't believe you. Is it not this guy? I beg you. Your own is too much. And all those your friends and family, if this person is even more comfortable, forget it. You see money, You see money. The people that you think your blood, because this person has money, I've spoken to a friend of mine. These are friends that I even introduced to my ex. So, and they now got, something now happened and I now complained to the guy. Was like, Victoria, what is it now? You're too unforgiving now. What? Maybe I said sorry. All this that you're complaining, you're doing video. Maybe some people will be tired of listening to you, Joe. What is it? I'm telling you.
But that's the truth. I keep saying to people, I said to a friend of mine, she wasn't even getting beaten, but I said to her, you're not happy in your marriage. Your mother is not going to start to fight your father and be unhappy in her marriage because her child is not happy in her. Do you understand? So you need to get to a point where you do less complaining and you take more action for yourself, for your family. I think the minute you make up your mind that you're going to leave, it doesn't matter how many people. When you take that bold step, like you said, you walk on eggshells at the beginning, but when people see that you're serious, you will find people that will reach out and they will help you. It's unfortunate that the government cannot be relied on in Nigeria, but I still believe that there are well-meaning individuals, no matter how bad the person's situation is. If you're ready to walk away from the money, because that's the fear. This is what we're talking about, right? The fear of starting over. So they're not enjoying the violence, they're not enjoying the beating, but they are scared that if they leave, that place is still a place of comfort. There's food, there's shelter, there's clothing. Now, if I leave, even if the person was educated before, you don't have a job anymore because of this marriage and all of that, how will I start? I'm used to a certain level of comfort. If I decide to leave, all that will take them. And so they stay there. Unfortunately, some of them lose their lives in the process. Okay, so we're trying to speak to people and let them know that there is a choice. Yes, you will be uncomfortable for a while, but after a while, things will start to look up as long as you keep pressing. So to me, it doesn't matter whether it's Nigeria or it's here, because there are people get to that time that keep going back until
that keep going back. Yes, that keep going back. That keep going back.
The difference is here you have the government to help you, whether family is there for you or not. And then in Africa, you don't have the support of the government. All you had is you. But you have to choose. Is my life worth whatever it is that is making me stay back here? Is losing my life worth all of this? And at the end of the day, isn't it selfish to stay back because of children who will be the ones to lose at the end of the day if you die? They will be the ones who will be motherless for life.
Of course. Yes, no.
No matter how nice a stepmother is, she can never take the place of their mother.
No.
Yes, so you were saying something about if you've made up your mind you want to leave, start saving. This can apply to Africa as well.
Yes.
No matter how small it is, no matter how, there are avenues you have to be creative. You have to think of ways that you can get money to save. Or you have to think of ways that you can, who you can reach out to that can help you. So even if you can't do the leg of yourself, you can get people who But the bottom line is you have to be ready. You have to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you were saying, now I want to know, how do we react to negative people? We're still talking about Africa. In Africa, they still believe that, a woman's place is with the husband. Yes, you are more respected when you're married. Listen, I know what I'm saying firsthand. I didn't go through violence, but it took me a while to get married, so I was thinking for a long time. And you go to a place with a married friend, the respect that they give to you is different from the one they give to your friend that is married. No matter how successful you are otherwise, whether you're financially stable or if you're not married, they don't recognize you. How do you deal with all that negativity? Because you're you still have relationships with Africans and all of that. How do you deal with the negativity from people?
Okay, for me personally, first of all, I had to cut off from a lot of people. Because and it was their actions that made me cut off, because I'm just one of those people that I no fish shout. Okay, let me give this very, very interesting thing that happened. I had this friend that she's married, obviously, her husband was in Nigeria for a while, but later on he came over and stuff like that. And this is a girl that, that kind of friend that before she drinks water, Victoria, I won't drink water, which kind of water make I drink? You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how close we were. And then this whole thing happened, went to refuge, came back. So we now had to go to a mutual friend's birthday party, her daughter's birthday party. So the husband of this my friend, obviously he knows what's going on. So when he saw me, that was the first time he was seeing me in a while. So he said, Victoria, come, let's go out, let's talk. So he just wanted to talk to me to know how are you coping, blah, blah, blah. So we were now outside talking, and my friend came. So he told my friend, he said, I'm talking to Victoria, what are you doing here? She said, no, I just said, let me come and listen. What are you people talking about? The guy said, okay, I've not seen her, so I want to know how is she, how is she getting on with the children? My friend said, be saying it now. So her husband was like, so I don't talk to Victoria on my own again. He said, no, she's our friend now. So for me, that was just the cutoff. She will still call me, how are you now? Fine. So I think she did that for like a year or thereabout. You don't call me back. In my mind, I'm saying call you back and be explaining. What I want to explain? If you cannot trust me to talk with your husband, then what are we talking? There's no point. And that was how that one. So any of all those my friends that knew me as a lawyer's wife, now I'm no more a lawyer's wife. So anytime I hear any hint of, I just cut off. I'll just archive your number. I don't even want to see. And the good thing was, I started meeting new people. I went to university and I made a totally new set of academic friends. And from those academic friends, I started, life was very realistic. I had friends that filled my time with, this assignment, how we go do it, and stuff like that. And from that, it continued. I started going for most of the things that my school do, like seminars, I'll go for seminars, I'll meet people, and sometimes you guys will just start talking from one thing to the other. And then I started making new sets of friends that when I even look back, I realized I don't have anything in common with these people anymore. Sorry, 1 minute. Mark! Yeah, sorry. Can you close that door? No, just close that door and go upstairs. Thank you. So I just realized that I'm not missing these people. I don't have anything. We don't, like I want to talk about assignments. I want to talk about psychology. I want to talk about academic things. So maybe some of them too are already social workers or whatever. But I just found out that, so, and those are your friends. Even your family says, But making new friends with people that don't really know you, then after time they know you and they praise you that, my God, you've been through something like this and you're still here, trying to do something for yourself. And I now started moving to people that support me, that, like, I mean, when I'm complaining of one friend, and I have a lecturer in school who is a doctor, doctor in academics, that I can call one-on-one, that is my friend. What am I doing with this person? You understand? So everything started changing. In terms of family, you're always going to have that. For a long time, my family didn't believe me because my ex would go to them and would talk in a very low voice. Oh, I love my wife. I don't know what, good. Until I started telling them, oh, yeah, ask him this and ask him that, ask him this. And based on what he said, they now started believing me. So after a while, my family also started believing me. But it's going to be hard. See, you have to, first of all, being in a bad relationship, it knocks you down. It knocks your confidence. It knocks your self-worth. It knocks you down. But believe that you can rise again. And I am so selfish to myself. I am sorry, Esse, but I don't need anybody. Right? I can do without anybody. I just have to condition my mind so that I will not die. Because when you're expecting things from people and they keep disappointing you, or they will do something in your front and behind you they do something else, you just have to stand and say I just decided, you know what? I will treat you the way you treat me. If you treat me with love and respect, I will treat you with love and respect. If you ever show me any sign of rubbish, as in, I am this, I am that, me, I am Madam Bullshit, my name is Bullshit, I will give you the biggest bullshit of your life. As in, I will see you and I walk past you and nothing, because I am still who I am. I am still Victoria Inyama. And the fact say I enter one chance, no mean say I lost my way. Yes, because at the end of the day,
let me quickly ask you, we're pressed for time now.
Okay.
Considering everything that you've been through, I must applaud you. Every time I look at you, I'm like, I love this woman. I love your strength. If someone doesn't, hear about your story, they won't know what you've been through. Yeah. So, what do you do for fun now?
You see this my house now. For fun is when they are not at home and I am in my room. Because Esse, I will talk, do this, do that. And so for fun, I love to dance, I love to go out. But again, I only go to places where I am appreciated and valued. And so out of every 10 invitations, I pick one. And that one, we say, maybe they've told me 3 months ago, and every 2 weeks they're reminding me again. So I'll say, okay, this one really wants me to come. This one is important. I love to go out. I love to dance, and I love to chill, just chill, read, watch TV, watch a film. I love to watch films, and I love to sleep. So for fun, because my house is never quiet. Hey, you can hear downstairs. My house is never quiet. So when it is quiet like this, heaven. But in everything again, I enjoy it because it's not going to be like this for long. So in as much as I can talk and talk, I do enjoy it and I do appreciate it. But I know that I need peace. So my fun time is, let me just watch my TV. Thank God I can afford to eat anything I want to eat, and if I go out, I dance and I post it. And when I'm sad, when I feel down, I play music on YouTube and I dance, because it's safer for me to do that than to call someone and be talking. Because whatever I say to you, I don't know what you do with it. So I just watch the dance, sing, and cry if I have to cry. And another thing is, sometimes when you feel very low, do a recording on your phone and speak about your feelings. So when you're down, do a recording on your phone, speak about your feelings. And then maybe the following week, you listen to it. And that will help you to check how well you're doing in your hierarchy of thoughts, right? So last month, I was like this, I was like this. So sometimes when you play that same recording this month, and it's something that they taught us in uni. If you play that same recording this month, you now say, now wow, so last month I was crying like this, and look at me now, I'll be better, right? So always, and a voice note saves you from talking to somebody and making yourself vulnerable to that person.
Yes.
If it's a broken heart,
to the wrong people.
To the wrong people. I'm just one person that believes that a stranger is more useful most of the time. A stranger that you don't even, will just come and say, Esse, you're hungry, come, let me take you out to lunch. From nowhere. Than people that you'll be crying there. They don't even have the food set that they have. So, but my advice always is, in life, you came to this life alone, apart from people that are twins. You came alone. Bear it in mind that things will happen to you alone. And it is not the things that happen to you that are the problem. It is your reaction to the things that have happened to you. So having a deeper understanding, I highly recommend psychology. Yeah, because in psychology, you'll also do philosophy. And everything that they talk about Christian Bible, blah, 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 is in philosophy. Yes, do unto man how you want man to do unto you. Don't do this, don't lie, don't bear false witness, don't do this. In the Bible, it's 10 commandments. In psychology, in philosophy, it is 16 commandments. Right? Yes, but they call it 16 laws. So when you understand all these things, you now find out that it's just you and how you deal with things. It's not easy to forget them. It's not easy to process most of the time. But look at where the other person is coming from. And then you will appreciate and be gratitude for you yourself, where you are and what you're dealing with. And then it will help you to carry on, so that you don't sit back and be living in regrets and frustration. So yeah.
So my apropos nature will not allow me to let you go until I ask this last question, because I need to let you go. Yes. Is there any hope of a new love interest in your life, now or in the future?
Love interest as how? Am I loving somebody or is somebody loving me?
I can answer the latter for you. Many people are loving you. I know some people that are loving you personally. Okay. Are you loving yet? Do you personally have any love interest?
Yes, I do. Of course. Of course.
So without giving up on love, that's just all I want to hear.
You can't. No. Oh, if you give up on love, if you give up on love, now you lose. Because love is a beautiful thing.
I like that.
Love is sweet, love is nice. And the fact that, this one didn't work does not mean, another one. You learn so much from a bad relationship, yeah? And I even learn how to perfect my own self. And I the mistakes, I'm not going to sit back here and say, oh, I didn't have my own faults or my mistakes, yeah? But I always say, what I campaign against is domestic violence, right? And obviously attitude and stuff. So, but now I feel I have added more value to myself, and I am now a valuable, possession, or a valuable person to the other, right? And this is one of the things that when I look back at my marriage, I was too dependent, and I couldn't speak up for myself. I couldn't fight. Anything I wanted, if it's no, I'll go and sit down. But now, if I want something and I say, oh, I want to do this way, and the good thing is, my friend, when he wants to advise me, he'll say, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just suggesting, because I know if I tell you now, you won't. So I say, good, is a good thing. And that way, I'll even do it. But if you tell me I have to do it this way, sorry, I will not. So, you cannot damage yourself more than another person has tried to damage you. And you have to heal. If I don't heal, my cancer will probably come back again. Right? And then the person that triggered it is there living his life. And have you noticed that a lot of hardworking women do not even live to 70? Yeah. Have you noticed that when they are 60, 65, when the kids have gone to uni or something, they die? And then the husband will remarry, and then the children are in uni. Meanwhile, that house he is living, it is the woman that worked and sweated for them to pay off that mortgage. Do a statistics, and you will see the high rate of women that struggle. You know, the average woman in the UK must have a job. She must have a career. It is not same for the husband. Most of the time, the husband does not have a job, and she does not mind. She will still be managing. You know, initially it starts with, okay, let the husband stay at home and look after the children because his salary is not as big as mine. When the children have now grown, oh yeah, come and go back to work. He will tell you he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to start. He doesn't, you know. So the woman is always there. Then when it's now time for her to enjoy, one stupid sickness, arthritis, due to overworking, she will do night, she will do day. She will come and cook. She will go to the market. She will, So, but you know, you need to find time to I don't know, love makes you, love is good. So you will not say because this thing, like I said no love or whatever. No, you know, you keep trying, you keep pushing. But now, am I looking at wanting to get married? I've not even come out of the one. 6 years going, I'm still doing divorce.
No, you don't use the word marriage.
A marriage, because let's that one partner. Now we are in a partner level, like, you know, oh, that's my partner and stuff. But I don't know about.
It's so good to hear, and I'm so happy for you. You know, I'm happy for, you know, where you are right now, the place that you are. You're just a joy to behold.
Oh, thank you.
It's not just, you know, I look at you, it's not just domestic violence. I listen to your story all the time, and I'm like, I can apply it to other areas of my life. Do you get? Yeah, that you have to, as a woman, you just need to be your own person first. You need to learn to love yourself. And then you have to love life.
Oh, yes.
You have to love life and, you know, create time for yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself anytime, any day. I see you on Instagram where you're doing your off-key singing. I got you. I'm on the same level with you. Don't worry, I can't sing to save my life either. But the point is, that's the most important. So please keep being happy. Thank you for joining us again on Esse. I know we have many more times.
Yep.
We're in the business of talking to people. We'll keep talking until we reach as many people as we can, you know, to help change their mindsets, their mentality, so that they can be in a better place like you have found yourself now. Yes, so I want to say thank you so very much for coming back to this with us. And to everyone watching, I see you, Mensa Maureen. Thank you, Funke Oniyo, Tracy Akwajoto, Babati. Thank you all very much for joining us. Until next time on This with Esse, remember, stay positive, stay happy, stay mended. Bye.